Women always ask me, what happened to men today? Great question. What started out as a good thing, encouraging men to respect women, has swung way too far in the opposite direction. Now, a lot of men are terrified of women, so they wait for perfect conditions before making a move. But courage doesn't exist without risk, and women can't respect men who don't risk anything. So as a man, if you want to be seen as confident, you've got to be willing to look stupid, to get rejected, to be misunderstood. So start by taking small risks. Approach women when you're out and about. Initiate plans with them. You'd be surprised how fast it'll work, because women nowadays, they're not turned off by that kind of effort. They're starving for it.
Serious question for my mans out there. Why are you guys not approaching women? What is that about? What is that about? I have seen so many hot guys lately, and we make eyes, we exchange the look, we have the look, and then there's nothing else. I'm like, are you gonna come approach me? Hello, I don't wanna be the one to approach you, okay? Because that's not my man's. My man's has, you know, the balls that he has, and he's not afraid to come up to me and say something, say hello. So if you're a man out there, you know, you guys have balls for a reason. Use them. And don't be afraid to approach women, because we don't want to do that, you know? This is just a pro tip, okay? Chime in.
So we're living in a world right now where men want to approach women, but are confused because there are a group of women who want men to approach them politely, as a gentleman, introduce themselves. Then there's this other whacked out contingency of women who would literally scream at men in public if a man just politely came over and said hi. So because men have seen this all over the internet, these videos of women publicly humiliating men who are doing really nothing other than just coming over and saying hi, they are not coming up to anybody. So this is why women who want men to approach them in the wild are wondering, why aren't men coming over to me anymore? Like, what's going on? So what I encourage people to do is just always have an open energy. You want to be smiling, you want to be open and friendly and positive, magnetic.
You know what? I don't like men giving me to-do lists, but you know, I'll bite. Thunderfoot. Why don't men approach? Why don't men approach? Okay, this is why. It's because of Clarence. He comes out every month and just like annihilates my face. And I'm sorry I had to bring up the elephant in the room, but yeah, Clarence is such a nuisance and it's just crazy. So there you go. Why men don't approach. Gosh, you don't have to be mean about it, Thunderfoot.
This is exactly what's happening at bars and clubs because men are no longer falling for it. They are no longer just throwing their money out at women that do not take them seriously. They are no longer willing to waste their time, effort, and resources. But because of this, women are out here trying to give men a bad rap. Like they're saying, what's wrong with men these days? They used to go to war. Now they just want to be treated like a woman at a bar. But that is just not the case because men will absolutely put in just as much effort as they always have into pursuing you. But it takes one thing, and that one thing is that he has to know that you are taking him seriously. Because one of the number one resources to a man is his time, and he doesn't want you to waste it. And even if it's a short-term thing, like he just doesn't want to leave that relationship and have a messed up head and a messed up heart. Because that man just wants a future with somebody that he can really fall in love with and grow old with. Which is why he already knows with like 95% certainty that him paying for your drink at the bar is not going to bring him closer to that.
You made your bed, now sleep in it. Alone. Because you constantly pick on these guys. You constantly tell them, ooh, you came up to me. Ooh, you complimented me. Oh, you're so nice. But ooh, do you have nothing else to do? Ooh, he gave me the ick. All of that. And now you're mad because guys aren't coming up to you and you're saying, guys, this is your cue. No, honey, that doesn't mean anything. Guys are not seeing the cue. Neither am I, by the way. And even if they did see a cue, they're still not going to take it as a sign that it's like a safe zone to come up to you when guys are getting accused of SA for coming up to you. Guys are getting accused of all types of crap coming up to you. Guys are getting used for drinks coming up to you. Guys are getting discarded after 5 minutes coming up to you. So that's why they're not coming up to you. In an ideal world, would guys be gentlemen, go up to women, get treated with respect, buy a drink, have a great conversation, get to know each other? Sure. But ladies, you ruined that. You made your bed, now sleep in it. Alone. Because you constantly pick on these guys. You constantly tell them, ooh, you came up to me. Ooh, you complimented me. Oh, you're so nice. But ooh, do you have nothing else to do?
That's because all y'all wearing them ugly ass baggy jeans. Why do women wear ugly ass man pants and expect to be attractive? And before y'all be like, we do this for us, they literally made a video complaining about how no men are approaching them. But you're wearing those ugly ass, baggy ass pants. Literally wearing the lesbian attire, and you wonder why men are treating you like lesbians. Like for real, like why are y'all so obsessed with being ugly? Like y'all be fine as hell, but you be obsessed with being ugly, wearing big ass clothes. You be getting all types of stupid ass piercings on your face. I know that's ironic coming from me with one nose ring, but I only got one. You women be having 3 nose rings, and then one of them's fucking dangling and shit. And plus, let's keep it a beam. We like ass. I can't tell what your ass shaped like in them big ass pants. I finna go hit on somebody with a big ass so I can tell what it's shaped like.
You know, I think in general, modern women make it very hard for men to approach. And you can kind of see a few examples so far. And if you've been on the internet for the past few years, you're going to see that there's not a shortage of women insulting, degrading men, acting like men are nothing, and then coming back sometimes years later when they're in their 40s asking why men don't approach.
And to a serious question for my mans out there, why are you guys not approaching women? What is that about? What is that about? I have seen so many hot guys lately, and we make guys, we exchange the look, we have the look, and then there's nothing else. I'm like, are you gonna come approach me?
Ladies, y'all are gonna have to approach first moving forward. That's just what it is, okay? The game has changed. Men still want to put out effort, but men aren't gonna show effort until you've shown interest, okay? It's just like dropping the handkerchief or the smile or starting with the hello and the the kind of coy thing that y'all do that we fall apart for every time. It has to start there moving forward, because there are just too many risks for a man, whether it be, rejection, which I get it. Oh, get used to it. Fucking you get used to it. We're not saying ask us out. We're not saying ask for our number. We're not saying buy us a drink. We're just saying show interest. Drop the handkerchief. Smile. Make the eye contact with that tilt down thing. What the fuck is that even called? We love that shit. And it's a green light. It is a invitation through the door. And we are more than happy to run through that door and then start putting the effort in, okay? But it's got to start with y'all. And we didn't even talk about the risks, of being called a creep, being blasted on the internet all week. We've been arguing over a certain situation where a lot of people think a dude was just going about his business in probably the wrong kind of way, but still is blasted all over the fucking internet. How many times have you seen a dude just trying to work out? Some chick walks by half naked. His chimp brain takes over it. All he does is kind of like, oh, and then goes on with his workout. Next thing you know, this dude's all over the fucking internet, maybe losing his job, maybe losing his girlfriend. Who the fuck knows what's going on? Guys just aren't into that shit anymore, okay? And then, look, we're on the same internet that you are. We're on the same TikTok that you are. We see y'all all day, every day, talk shit and say how all men are trash and we're worthless and we're all fucking dogs and we're all this, that, and the other. Every problem in the world throughout history, even though none of us were alive when all that crazy shit was happening, it's our fault because we're men. We're just not into it. We understand that y'all want us to leave you alone. We understood the assignment. We're leaving you the fuck alone. So now it's up to y'all to go out of your way and do a little something to say, hey, you don't leave me alone. And we'll say, okay. And from that moment on, okay, babe.
This one's for the men. Why aren't we going up to women and hitting on them anymore? Asking them out, talking to them. Are we that shy and lame? I mean, I don't even hear men catcall anymore. Or is it just me?
Okay, so I was watching one of my favorite YouTubers yesterday, Maya Galore, and she does all things beauty, lifestyle, fashion, that kind of stuff, right? In her vlog, she talked about how she feels the men of this generation are just scared to approach her. Obviously she's successful. She presents herself very classy, very rich, luxury. That's the aesthetic that she has. And she recently went out with her friend. I think they went to some bar to like watch a football game or something, and she noticed so many men were staring at her, but none of them were bold enough to actually come over and approach her or come over and talk. I think the only guy, she said, that was bold enough to do something was like trying to summon her. So he made eye contact, and I think he was like gesturing her to come over, but she doesn't respond to that. But for the girls on here, do y'all relate to that? Do y'all ever feel like men are just afraid to approach you? Men are afraid to actually make a move. It's like, you know, they're staring, but they're just not bold enough to talk to you. And I definitely relate to that, because when I think back on the last, let's say 2-3 years, men just don't approach. And you could say, oh, well, maybe they just don't find you attractive. But like she said, sometimes you see them staring. It's like you see them staring, making constant eye contact with you. But it's like they're just not afraid to. I don't know. What's the cause of that? Are men intimidated? Because again, she does carry herself very rich, very well put together. Are they just intimidated by us? Are they just shy? Do they just lack initiative? Like, do we just have a generation of men that don't take initiative anymore? What's going on?
If you're a girl and you never get approached in public, let's talk about it, because you probably think it means something's wrong with you, but honestly, it's usually the opposite. By the way, if you love stuff like this, make sure you grab the freebie that's in my bio. There are 2 main reasons this happens. Number 1, you're probably more attractive than you realize, and I don't just mean looks, I mean energy too. The way you carry yourself, the way you move, the confidence you give off. Most guys see that and instantly assume you're taken or you're out of their league. Number 2, men today are terrified of public rejection, like genuinely terrified. The idea of walking up to a woman and getting shut down in front of people, or worse, ending in someone's group chat, is their actual nightmare. So what do? They just don't try. I've heard so many guys say, I saw this gorgeous girl today, but honestly, she's probably out of my league and she most likely has a boyfriend. And boom, they talk themselves out of it. So if you're that girl wondering why no one approaches you, it's not because you're invisible, it's because you give off she's good without me energy. You probably look focused and confident and in your lane, and that can feel intimidating. The truth is, the higher your energy and standards get, the fewer random approaches you'll get, because the men with the confidence and maturity to approach you, they're rare. So don't take it personally, just take it as proof. You're not unapproachable, you're just not easily approachable, and that is a compliment.
So apparently single men are starting to become afraid to approach women in real life because they don't want to be viewed as creepy, around like 53% according to this one study. And I just really think that is not enough. Run the percentage up. This is not a bad thing. And I'm going to tell you why. A man being concerned about being viewed as creepy while approaching a woman shows an awareness of the reality of violence that women face when they are approached by men, when they deal with men, when they're talked to by men, when they're harassed by men, cackled by men, etc. And he does not want to be a part of said reality. There is literally nothing negative about men starting to be hyper aware of how they're interacting with women. There's no negative to that, because it's been on the other end of the spectrum for so long, right? Like, men have been so used to women being at their disposal and their availability whenever they want to, right? That now some men see it as a slight that, oh my God, I have to worry about being viewed as a creep. You have to worry about being viewed as a creep while we have to worry about death. This is not a slight to you if you are concerned about being viewed as creepy. You should be. You should be thinking, how am I going to approach this woman in a way that is not going to scare her, that is not going to creep her out or freak her out or make her feel like I am dangerous. You should absolutely be thinking that. And then for the men that are like, well, how am I supposed to date women now? Oh my gosh, like, how am I supposed to go on dates? Do you hear yourself? Your complaint is that going out on dates with women is now going to be harder for you. That doesn't sound like the most privileged thing. Being harder for y'all to approach us is not oppression. That is not a slight to you. That is a byproduct of the violence that we have to deal with and face. It's a byproduct of all these other men in the world that make that so difficult. A black woman and girl was killed every 6 hours in 2020. Around 81% of women in general deal with sexual harassment. Women get killed for saying no to men on the street. Until those statistics and statistics like it stop, we have a right to not be sure if you as a man approaching us is going to be one of those men. And you need to start thinking about your behavior and making sure you do not become one of those men or come off as one of those men. This is not a negative thing. A lot of y'all need to be concerned about being viewed as a creep.
I'm gonna give you an update real quick before I start work. But the gag is, there's no update. He never called me. I get ghosted by men all the time, or no one ever approaches me. And I don't know why. I guess I'm not a baddie. Guess I'm not a cutie. Patootie. Just a woman men don't approach. I don't know. My friends get approached all the time, but I just simply, I get ignored. Odd. No update. Still looking for my Prince Charming.
You know, she's saying that she's getting ghosted. Other women are asking the question, what's up with you guys? Why are you guys not approaching anymore? Honestly, you can just read through the comments and see why. Oh, men are intimidated by me. Oh, I have an RBF. So with that being said, why do you think that a man would approach you? The man's right. He's right. At some point in time, y'all are going to have to, the game is switched up. Y'all are going to have to start approaching. With the way that you've done things, that you wanted to be a boss babe and take the lead, you've got to take the lead in the bro.
Women are going crazy, guys, because they can't figure out why you're not going up to them anymore. Guys' eyes are wide open now, right? They're wide open. And they're starting to say, well, you know what? I used to think it was worth it for me to just put myself out there all the time because, you know, I wanted to take a girl out. But now I'm realizing you got the gold diggers, you got the women who want the free meal, you got the women who expect me to do everything, but in return want to do nothing. You got women who are saying, what do you bring to the table? But when you ask them, they get insulted. You got women who don't, you can't even talk. You talk about, you know, oh, yeah, you had 400 boyfriends before and you slept with all of them. You know, they get defensive. Maybe I just don't need to pursue women right now at all. That's what's happening. And I'm not saying that's good, by the way, because ultimately I'm someone who believes in, you know, men and women complementing each other when men are in their masculine and women are in their feminine and coming together and making a big, beautiful family. But this is the reality that's happening right now. And I understand why. Guys have had enough. So ladies, you want it to change. Instead of making a stupid TikTok video and complaining about it, act different. Act different. Look at your life and say, am I prioritizing stuff that guys don't give a lick about? And then complaining that they don't give a lick about me? Have some self-reflection in the game. Is my attitude shitty? Did I make 4 TikTok videos, you know, ripping on a guy the other day that I went out with, and now other guys are looking at that saying, oh, I'm not not getting in line for this one. Self-reflect instead of bitching about it. Oh, well, he doesn't want me because he doesn't appreciate a woman who makes a salary like blah, 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 blah.
I feel like so many women are like, oh, why is it always the unattractive men that approach me, but the attractive men don't? I feel like a lot of people's response to that is, oh, you know, skill-based matchmaking. You must not be as attractive as you think you are. And it's like, that might be part of it, but I feel like there's also even more than that. Like, something else people also say is like, those attractive men have options, so they're not gonna, you know, waste their time approaching, which also is a factor, okay? This is a 3-pronged thing. The third factor I feel like is unattractive men are less afraid of rejection because they've been rejected their entire lives, sometimes preemptively. Like, I think about myself, for instance. I've dated plenty of people. You guys know this. I can't think of a time I've been rejected. And this is not me saying I'm unrejectable. Like, obviously, there are some people with some very poor decision-making skills who would reject me. But I mean, I've never, like, approached a woman, like, for no reason, like, out of nowhere. You know what I mean? I've never, you know, asked for, like, information or, like, asked if we could hang out sometime if I didn't know the answer was going to be yes. Like, the closest I've gotten to rejection is just, like, when things don't surface. You know, like, for me, what a rejection feels like is when a woman doesn't approach me. I swear to God, like, if I'm looking at a woman from across the room and we, like, lock eyes and she doesn't end up approaching me, I'm like, dang, man, she didn't want me. There have literally been situations where I got someone's IG, right? And then, like, you know, followed them, they followed me back. And I'm like, damn, they didn't message me though. Like, I'm kind of, you know what I mean? Like, I've not experienced like, hey, like, I'm interested in you, and someone being like, nah. Just because I don't put myself in those situations, because I don't need to put myself in those situations. But think about someone who's chopped. I'm not scared of that, okay? Because again, like, part of the reason I don't do that is because, like, that concept sounds so horrifying to me. Like, I would have nightmares. I wouldn't be able to sleep. Someone who's chopped, like, that's just, they're like, run the middle, like, oh, you win some, you lose some. They got nothing to lose because they already lost it multiple times. It's like when you go skydiving, right? I've never been skydiving, but like skydiving, someone who's never done it sounds so scary. But then people who do skydive, they're like, oh man, like once I did it once, it was completely fine. I just like kept going. Like, I feel like that's chopped people. Like, I feel like they just have so much experience in the area, they don't even care.
But the last time I got approached in public, oh my gosh, this is actually sad. I'm embarrassed. Wait. Cut the cameras. No.
When is the last time you've seen a man approach a woman in person? Maybe that's the problem.
That's definitely another problem. Men are very easily intimidated by that. Like, they want to be chased, but then they don't. I don't think that they know what they really want.
Do you have any issues approaching men on the street yourself as a woman?
No, not at all.
When's the last time you've done that?
Oh, I'm loyal to my situationship, so it's been a while.
Why do you think men have trouble approaching women in person?
They're scared.
What do you think they're afraid?
Women.
When is the last time a man approached you in person?
Probably. I can't remember.
Ladies and gentlemen, Willow Smith said that men no longer ask women out on dates. You know, they don't approach women and ask women out on dates no more. Which is like very interesting for her to say, because I don't know what Willow Smith, like 20 something years old, early 20s. I don't think when men were asking women out on dates, she was not dating age. But she does have a point. A lot of men don't ask women out on dates. Now, I'm not in the dating pool. I'm married. I'm out the game. But I keep my ear to the street and I hear a lot of things. There's a couple of reasons why men don't ask women out on dates anymore like that. Is because a lot of times when you approach a woman, you know, nobody wants to get blamed for anything. We've been in the middle of this Me Too movement for a minute, and it rises and falls, and nobody wants to get caught in the high tide. You understand what I'm saying? You know, some men are like, no, I ain't trying to go to jail. I don't want nobody to say anything. I'm harassing them. I'm going to go in this damn store. I'm going to get some bread, some eggs, some bacon, and I'm going to get the hell out of here. I don't care what I see. If I see a woman that's fine, I'm just going to look at her, mind my business, and go on back to the house. If you don't already like me, I don't like you. That's how a lot of men think, because nobody wants to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? And the other thing is, a lot of times when you approach a woman, you know, nowadays, hey, it turns transactional very quickly. Very quickly. And the men that walk up and ask women out on dates as a gentleman are looked at as the lame men. They're looked at as corny. If you just walk right up to a woman and say, excuse me, I don't mean to bother you, but I think you're very beautiful. And I was wondering before I left, is there a way could I get in contact with you? I'd love to take you out on a date and get to know you. You're not going to get a, oh, no, thank you, or oh, sure, that's fine. You're going to get, oh, boy, you lame as hell. Where you come from? You can't be from the hood like that. Hell no, ain't no way, sir, square, lame, get up out of here. Yeah, that's what you going to get. If you ain't got no bodies, if you ain't never caught a body, I'm not going nowhere. That's what you get. Anyway, my stand-up special, anybody want to tell me, is on Tubi right now. And I'm on tour. Go to SugarKing.com. Get them tickets.
I just had to come on here and talk about the very strange experience I had with a man at the bar last night. So me and my friends were just sitting at the bar. There was 3 of us, and this man comes up to us, and he puts his elbow on my friend's shoulder, and he just starts to stare at us. And we don't say anything. And so we're all just kind of like standing there silently looking at each other. And eventually he goes, what? No hello? I go, no, you came up to us. Why would we say hello to you? He goes, oh, well, it's part of the bit. And I'm like, what bit? You making me and my friends uncomfortable, and we all just stand here and play fucking Jeopardy trying to figure out what you want? If you're a man, please don't approach a girl like this. She's not going to say something first. That is so weird.
You didn't have to put this online. I know it seems kind of weird, But what he was doing with it, or what he was probably going to do with it, was, there was going to be an awkward silence. You're going to say, are you okay? And then he was going to make some joke or whatever and whatnot. Oh, because we thought there was something wrong with you. We were about to say, oh, call the cops, oh, security. And it was going to be this whole big thing, right? And you're going to say, well, it started out weird, but that's actually a pretty cool guy, right? Would I encourage him to approach this way? Probably not. But I think, I feel like this is what we talk about. Just taking things too seriously. Serious enough to get online and start saying, well, don't do this, don't do that. When there are times, the man could have been drunk. Number one. Number two, there are times when women do things weird, but men don't make it awkward. Men just kind of play along. That's what he was looking for you to do. It was dumb. It was a silly thing to do. It was a way for him to put himself out there. That's all he was doing. Looking for you to play along, right? So I get where you're coming from, but I don't know if you guys need to be demonizing people left and right.
I got a bone to pick with y'all men. Why is it that y'all like to throw out compliments to women, telling them how beautiful they are and how you like the way they look and blah, 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 but you don't ask for their number? Like, can you tell me why that is? You just want to be nice, throw out a compliment today, or you're scared? Which one is it?
I honestly think this is like the blossoming and the blooming of a seed that has been planted. Why are you complimenting me, but you're not approaching me? Why are you not asking me out? I don't understand that. When you plant a seed that pretty much everybody is able to see you planting, and it says men everywhere, don't approach me. It doesn't matter what man sees it. He's not going to approach. Y'all continue to talk to the average men that y'all feel like are bums. But the man that y'all actually want sees it. And just because he's a nice guy, he says, oh man, it's a beautiful dress. I love that color on you, man. And he keeps walking. That was such a nice thing for him to say. Why didn't he approach? Well, because you probably said that you didn't want men approaching, number one. Number two, maybe he just wasn't interested in you. I know y'all find that hard to believe, but it's not about you.
So what I really want to talk about today is that bullshit T app, that T dating advice, which is not even about dating. It's more about post this guy and bash him, say whatever you want to say about him, even if it happened 10 years ago or if it didn't happen at all. You guys are taking things out of context. You're making things up. You're bringing up family members, sisters, siblings, mothers, fathers, cousins, all this kind of information. And what you're really doing is ruining lives and hurting people's mental health. When someone hurts themselves, it's going to be on you. You're ruining lives. You're hurting people. You're being a hater. You're contributing to hate. You want to see more love and happiness in this world, but look at what you guys are doing. This is not okay. This is not Christian-like. This is not normal behavior. You guys have to get a grip on yourselves, literally. And you guys act like rumors don't happen and no one's ever said a rumor about you. I'm pretty sure they have, and you guys know exactly how it feels. So stop over-exaggerating. Stop reporting false information. Stop making shit up. Like, it's not okay. It's not worth it. You're literally degrading yourselves, degrading our men. If you're so worried about someone that's going to be an offender, I mean, if he's so bad, we would already know about him, one. Number two, there's a background check for a reason. And number three, like I said, people change, people live, people learn. So if you're with me and you don't like this app, I suggest reporting it to the App Store, reporting the post, and don't contribute to the hate. And when people bring this topic up to you, shut it down. Shut it down. I hope to see this app gone, diminished. That's it. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to see about it. Nothing. So please, stop contributing to this hateful trend and spread more positivity. I know you guys want to have each other's backs, but you're doing more harm than good.
This is why he's not approaching you. This is why you guys start dating, he starts ghosting you. Men are energy conservationists. And when they see you, they immediately start doing the math. Like, is this worth my energy? If you look expensive or they don't think they're going to win,
right? If they exert energy that there's a possibility that they could win and continue to win, they're not going to approach you or they're not going to invest. It is what it is. This is also why I don't approach men first, because they have already seen me and they've decided they, on some level, cannot afford her, meaning they won't have the time and energy. They don't think that they're good enough for me. They think that I'm out of their league. They think they'd have to work really, really hard to keep me happy. Whatever it is, they have decided, they've already done the calculation. They're not going to exert the energy to come up to me, or they're not going to put a lot of time and effort in because they know they're not going to win. It's not going to be a good investment for them. But if I walk up to them and I make it really easy for them, no real energy was wasted. But that's also why you then have to exert all of the energy and time to keep it going, because he knows I'm not gonna be able to keep this going. So he's not gonna waste any time and energy. It's not a return on his investment. Men are energy conservationists. Now, women are meant to learn that from men. You are meant to be energy conservationists. Men are incredible receivers, right? They receive from us. They receive from us unapologetically. They don't think they have to earn it. They just take it and they're like, thank you. We're also meant to learn that from them. Men are our greatest teachers, but we have to be able to see them and appreciate them for that versus making it personal or making it mean that we're not good enough. If somebody's not approaching you, I promise you, it's because they've done the math in their head. And I've heard other women say that they reject you first in their head. I don't like to look at it as rejection because that doesn't feel good in my body. I like to think, well, he just did the math. He's not going to be able to invest in me or make me happy according to him for whatever reason, his own perception of himself. And I trust that. I'm going to trust him on that.
So, Gen X ladies, this one is for you. Now that I'm single, I come across a lot of profiles and a lot of videos of women saying, you know, Gen X men or men over, you know, late 40s, over 50, they're not hitting on me. They're not approaching me. They're not showing any interest. Well, here's kind of the scoop, and I'm just speaking from my side. The world has changed so much in the last, I don't know, 4, 6, 8 years. We're scared to approach you guys. And by that, I don't mean that we're scared of you. We're just deathly afraid of being called like creepers or, you know, something that really negative. Like it's just been like inbred over the last, you know, 6 years or whatever it is. I might find a woman super, super attractive. I gotta be honest with you, depending on the scenario, I may or may not even try to talk to her. It has absolutely nothing to do with whether I want to or not, as much as it does, man, what if she freaks out on me? And it's not like the old days when it was like, oh, she's gonna shoot me down. I could take a shoot down. But man, I can't have a woman freaking out like I'm some creeper on her or I'm an old dude creeping on her or whatever. That's just my take. So hit the comments, guys. Tell me if I'm on par, and ladies, chime in on this. Tell me what you think about this, because that's exactly what's going on. So yeah, hit me down here, hit my buttons, hit my follow. Tell me, does anybody agree with me? Ladies, does this help you out? Whatever.
If you're a girl and you never get approached by dudes in public anymore, you are not alone. This is truthfully a common occurrence across the board. Dudes, flat out, simply are just not approaching women in person anymore. As a matter of fact, not even just for in-person interactions of going up to a woman and saying, hey, can I get your number? Also, even when it comes to dating apps, even when it comes to Instagram DMs, it's actually kind of just dead across the board when it comes to men pursuing women. And this is a huge, huge problem that society does not look at enough, because if we don't have men pursuing women anymore, if we don't have relationships that can be long lasting, if we don't have families built, then over a long enough period of time, how do you have a society when no more families exist? You don't have a society anymore. Society collapses, and it all starts with men pursuing women. And it's a huge problem, but also don't feel like you are alone and sitting there wondering like, why am I never getting approached in public or at all for that matter? It's not you. It's the simple fact that men do not pursue women at all anymore. They've just given up.
I think you gotta start giving men something to pursue. There's nothing out here worth a man pursuing. If you're looking at modern women, It's just not it. I'm sorry to say it. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but with the way that they think, I was listening to a woman in another video talk about how sometimes women will get on the app and they'll start basically quote unquote shaming a woman that's showing her body. And to me, I was like, well, at some point in time, it comes to a point to where you need to be told, hey, maybe as a grown-up, you didn't understand. Stop doing this. Quit doing that. Well, I can dress anyway. You can do anything that you want to do, but stop doing that. That's not mature. Why are you talking like that? Why are you acting like that? Why are you dressing like that? That's a childish way to do things. That's a weird way to do things. And then you start to ask why men aren't approaching you. It's because you have a weird way of doing business, and men think it's freaking weird. Period. End of story. There's nothing left to wonder about. They're not approaching you because you're the one being weird.
Here's what I feel changed in my marriage. I'm going to tell you this while package cookies. I lost my job a year ago, 2024. So with losing my job, my husband took on my half of the mortgage. Now, with that being...
Did y'all see that shoulder shrug? Y'all saw that? Look, she asked the question, so let's answer it. But first...
This comment is funny to me because now you're telling me I need to put my pride aside and go back to working a retail job, right? So I need to give up my business that I opened because it's not generating a full income that you wanted.
So here's the thing. She lost her job a year ago and she's been unemployed. She's basically been doing side hustles to try to make us some money to pay her half, but her husband is still paying her half. And it's not just the mortgage, it's her cars. It's literally all the bills that she was responsible for whenever she was working full time was dropped off on him. Most likely abruptly, or at least I'm assuming it was abruptly. Your husband may be feeling some sort of resentment because he does not have that luxury that you're doing right now. If he would have lost his job, he would have been scrambling, panicking. He would have went to go flip burgers to make sure that you were straight. Apparently, this lady talks about her marriage a lot on her page. You know what I'm saying? Bringing people outside of her marriage into it and then get mad whenever they actually post their opinion on it. Your husband does not have the same luxury that you have, right? You lost your job and you was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm not going to set my pride to the side. I'm going to just go ahead and try to do a bunch of side hustles and open my own business. Forget it. You lost your job. Your husband has picked up the mantle for over a year. And to this day, you still haven't picked up your half. And on this page that you're posting on, you don't even post consistently neither. And I know you say you're trying to bring in money from social media and whatnot. And you may have a separate account. You may got a YT account. I don't know. I didn't look you up. But just a quick scroll, I can see you don't even post consistently. So my opinion is, on a video that you posted publicly, your husband may have resentment for the fact that you can lose your job and just be like, cool. But if he lost his job, there's no way that he would have put this pressure on you for this long.
I think I saw the original and I hoped that it would be satire. I think I actually commented on it. It's like, I feel like this is rage bait. And that's what I was hoping. I think she responded to my comment and said, sadly, it isn't. Well, if it isn't, then we have a little bit more digging to do. I think it's exactly like he said, which is why I called it rage bait in the first place. Because I just felt like there's no way that you're sitting up here talking like this on the internet, thinking that you have a point. Essentially what happened was you lost your job. No fault of your own, or maybe it is, who knows? Let's give you a benefit of the doubt. You lost your job. There's been mass layoffs, a lot of different companies. For whatever reason, there's nothing you can do about that. You decided is what you did, which is why men are having trouble getting married and stuff like that. You decided that, yeah, I'm going to use this time for me to kind of explore other things because I really didn't like that job. And the conversation probably went like, I don't know, I feel like we have bills, you know, maybe you can try it out for X number of months, but I would really love it if you would look for a job in the meantime, just to kind of make sure that we still have that stable income coming in, right? And then when the business takes off, you can quit that and go full time. You did not listen to that because you wanted to do what you wanted to do. Well, I want to stay home with my daughter and I want to do this. You decided to do what you wanted to do. And so now he's upset with you and you're upset with him because he's upset with you because you're not holding up your end of the bargain. I can't pay my half of the mortgage because I'm doing this. And you should be happy because I'm staying home with the child. Nobody asked you to do that. If the man is still upset, he's thinking, why are you making, it's always an excuse with you. It's always an excuse to not do what we talked about. To continue doing something that I said, okay, maybe there should be like a side hustle or something like that until you can get this business running. You don't listen to any of that. As a matter of fact, you do whatever you want to do. And I got to fall in line with that or else I'm not being supportive. You should have said it was satire.
So I've seen on TikTok lately women complaining that men aren't approaching them for some reason. I want to ask, where are you ladies going that men are not approaching you? Because, I mean, I'm in my mid-30s, established, responsible. I go to the grocery store, men hit on me. I go to the bank, men hit on me. I go to the gas station, I'm literally pumping gas and getting my $1.50 coffee, and men are trying to pick me up. So I'm just, what is going on that men aren't hitting on women? Are they scared? Are you unapproachable? I don't get it. And like, not only that, but like, what about me? Like, I took my shoes off, sorry, but like, what about me screams heterosexual? Like, I don't get it. Like, I know men are into tomboys, but how do I get the women to approach me, not the men? So if you ladies want to flip-flop, I'm down for that. But I don't know. I'm just curious, because it just seems weird that wouldn't happen. So men, hop in these comments. Are you afraid to hit on women? Or are you afraid we're going to have you arrested? Or are you just giving up? I don't know. I'm curious. Let me know.
I think a lot of times men are just looking for friends, right? And you have to look semi-cute. I can see a man looking at your hair and your eyes and saying, oh, she's cute, right? She seems cool. Especially if they hear you, like they hear you talking, they might not even be thinking that you're lesbian. They might just be thinking, oh man, she's talking about some really cool stuff. She's cute enough. Even if I don't think that you're pretty or cute, it doesn't matter to me. It matters what they think, right? So they think that, and they're like, oh, she's pretty cool, man. It seems like she has the same type of hobbies that I have. Shoot, why not give it a go? And they come and talk to you. And it's only then that they learn that, oh, well, I'm lesbian. I really don't date men. That's when they learn that. A lot of men are looking for friendship. They're looking for companionship versus what these modern women are offering. So if you're asking modern women why they don't get approached, is because they're not good friends. They wouldn't make a good companion. Men know that off the bat. With the way these modern women are acting, that's why they don't even go over there. They might approach you because you seem more friendly. Your body language seems more open, just maybe because you're not worried about a whole lot of stuff. And so that's why they're like, oh man, she's cool. I love that vibe. And they walk up to you and say, hey, let's go out. So that's what it might be.
All right, so I got some tequila in my system, and I want to let you know why guys may not approach you. Not necessarily me, but just guys in general. One, he may not just generally find you attractive. You may be pretty, but he might not find you to be his type. Two, a guy can smell his red flags. You may not be everybody's red flag, but a guy can smell his red flags. He may see you, know you're his type, and realize, I'm not going down this lane again. Third, proximity. A lot of times, if it takes me walking across the room through 5, 15, 20 groups of crowds, I may not want to do it. I'll just be like, you know what, next lifetime. 4, your group of friends. I've seen plenty of times where I find a woman that I think is absolutely attractive, and I see her group of friends, and I say, there's no possible way she hangs out with them. If you look like you cost money, a man will window shop. If you look like you are a value, a man will purposely make an investment.
So I'm actually really happy you pointed this out, because this changes the game. A lot of times we assume that men don't want to pursue us because they're not interested, but we live in a society now where I think men are like walking on eggshells because they're not sure how we're going to react and how we're going to respond, and if we're going to think that they're creepy. So they kind of just stay back. So we got to learn to kind of initiate some of these little magnetic tactics, using I want to give these guys a little bit of knowledge that we are interested. I'm really happy you pointed this out because this actually makes a lot of sense. So thank you.
Okay, so this conversation about dating white men as a black woman. I'm currently single. I'm trying to date. And I've never dated a white guy. I've never had a white guy come up to me or approach me. So what's up with that? White men, what's up with that? Why aren't you approaching me? Is it like my look? Do I look like rude? I would love to know.
There's a girl on here whose videos I always see, and she talks a lot about dating, and she was talking about a guy not opening the car door for her, and she was like, obviously I'm old school, like I want that, which to me it doesn't really matter, but it just like set off a little like idea in my head where I've been on these dates before where the guy doesn't even get out of the car. Like he'll offer to pick me up, which is really nice, right? Appreciate it. He'll come to me, and then I live in a locked apartment complex, so obviously you can't come up and like knock on my door, but I'll like text them and be like, okay, I'm coming out now, and they don't even get out of the car. So then I have to awkwardly go up to their car window and hope that it's the right car and be like, hey, and it just gives like, oh, Uber for Chloe. Like it's giving like a weird vibe, and it just sets the date off on a bad tone because why would you not at least get out of the car, like give me a hug, like say hello in a normal way? Like, I don't know. So yeah, I don't even care about the car door thing, but it just like is so odd to me when somebody on a first date doesn't even get out of the car to like greet me properly. I don't know. Like the bar's on the floor, honestly.
I'm just done. I deserve so much better, and I know I have to pray and wait for the right man. I'm not going to be looking. I'm not searching. Jesus is my boyfriend, and I'm dead ass serious. I am just diving into my faith, diving into my hobbies and my businesses. And if God wants to put me with somebody, they will come knocking at my door, literally. That is where I'm at right now. I'm just done. I deserve so much better, and I know I have to pray and wait for the right man. I'm not going to be looking. I'm not searching. Jesus is my boyfriend, and I'm dead ass serious. I am just diving into my faith, diving into my hobbies and my businesses. And if God wants to put me with somebody, they will come knocking at my door, literally. That is where I'm at right now.
Well, I think at some point in time, instead of waiting, you have to be focused on what it is that you actually want. You can be focused on work, which is I'm going to throw myself into work. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You're going to do everything but be an example of what a good partner should be. Y'all will say all of this stuff. I'm praying about it. I'm waiting on it. But y'all don't really ever truly work on yourselves. Like they'll say they've gone through therapy and healing, but then you start talking to them, and within the first conversation, you're like, what change did you go through? None. I didn't go through any change because I was only doing it to perform. It was a performative gesture, me going to therapy. I'm not really looking to change for a man. I'm looking for a man to change for me. And over time, I'm going to make his life miserable.